The Central Intelligence Agency and the National Security Agency collect more intelligence data every single day than existed in the entire world 50 years ago. And we're not talking about targeted surveillance of specific threats. We're talking about systems that can intercept virtually every phone call and every email and every text message and every internet search happening anywhere on Earth and store that data indefinitely for future analysis. And here's what makes this completely disturbing. Because documents leaked by Edward Snowden in 2013 revealed that the NSA was collecting phone records on hundreds of millions of Americans with no connection to terrorism and was tapping underwater fiber optic cables to intercept global internet traffic and was working with technology companies to insert backdoors into encryption systems. And that was over a decade ago. And the capabilities have only expanded since then with artificial intelligence and quantum computing and satellite networks that make previous surveillance seem primitive, and the scale is almost incomprehensible because the NSA's data centers can store yottabytes of information, which is a number so large it's difficult to conceptualize. And a single yottabyte is 1 trillion terabytes, and the facility in Utah alone has capacity measured in exabytes and processes billions of intercepted communications daily. And when you combine CIA human intelligence with NSA signals, intelligence and national reconnaissance, office satellite intelligence and other agencies, the result is a surveillance apparatus that knows more about what's happening inside most countries than those countries' own governments know. And the question that privacy advocates and foreign governments obsess over is how American intelligence agencies built capabilities so overwhelming that essentially nothing happens anywhere without them knowing. And the answer involves 6 specific mechanisms that work together like a machine, where each component enables mass surveillance at scales that would have seemed impossible a generation ago. And when you understand these 6 reasons, you'll see that American intelligence dominance isn't about having more spies. It's about controlling the technological infrastructure through which all modern communication flows. And the first reason is something that emerged from World War II, code breaking and never stopped. And that's the NSA's systematic penetration of global telecommunications networks, which gives America access to the actual physical infrastructure that carries the world's communications. And this infrastructure control is the foundation of everything else. And here's how telecommunications penetration works. Because most international communications travel through fiber optic cables that run under oceans and across continents. And there are only a few hundred of these cables carrying almost all global internet and phone traffic. And the NSA has programs that physically tap these cables at junction points where multiple lines converge and copy all the data flowing through. And the scale of this interception was revealed in documents showing programs with names like Muscular and Tempora that collect data directly from fiber optic cables. And think about what this means, because when you send an email or make a phone call or browse a website, the data travels through these cables and gets copied by NSA equipment and stored for analysis. And this happens regardless of whether you're a terrorism suspect or a foreign leader or an ordinary person. And the interception is comprehensive because the NSA doesn't filter at the collection point. It takes everything and sorts later. And compare this to other countries' intelligence agencies, which might tap domestic communications, but can't access global infrastructure at the same scale because they don't have the reach or the relationships or the technology. And China has tried to build alternative infrastructure, but most global communications still flow through systems the NSA can access. And here's the compounding advantage, because telecommunications companies cooperate with the NSA, sometimes voluntarily and sometimes under legal compulsion. And AT&T has a documented history of allowing NSA access to its networks, and other major carriers have similar arrangements. And this cooperation means the NSA doesn't have to break in. It's given access, and beyond the fiber optic cables, there's also satellite interception, because communication satellites broadcast signals that can be captured from ground stations, and the NSA operates a global network of listening posts that intercept satellite communications. And the famous Echelon system involves cooperation between the United States and United Kingdom and Canada and Australia and New Zealand to share satellite intercepts and cover the entire planet. And the second reason is what makes modern mass surveillance possible at unprecedented scale. And that's the centralization of global internet traffic through a handful of American technology companies. And this means the NSA can access billions of users' data by working with a few cooperative corporations. And here's how tech company cooperation works. Because companies like Google and Facebook and Microsoft and Apple collectively have over 4 billion users worldwide. And these users store emails and photos and messages and location data on American servers and under U.S. law. The NSA can compel these companies to provide access to this data through programs like PRISM, which was revealed in the Snowden documents. And think about what this access enables. Because Google processes over 90,000 searches per second and sees what billions of people are looking for. And Gmail hosts over 1.8 billion email accounts, and Facebook knows the social networks and communications of over 3 billion users. And the NSA has programs to collect this data and analyze it and correlate it across platforms, and compare this to the pre-internet era when intelligence agencies had to physically steal documents or recruit human sources to learn what people were thinking and communicating. And now that information is voluntarily uploaded to servers that American intelligence can access. And the scale of voluntary disclosure is staggering, because people share information online that they would never tell anyone in person. And here's the legal framework that enables this, because U.S. law distinguishes between Americans and foreigners and provides much stronger privacy protections for Americans. And this means the NSA can collect communications of non-Americans with minimal legal restrictions, and foreigners using American internet services have essentially no legal protection against NSA surveillance. And the FISA court, which oversees domestic surveillance, operates in secret and has approved over 99% of surveillance requests in its history. And beyond the direct cooperation, there's also the indirect collection, because even when companies don't cooperate, the NSA can exploit vulnerabilities in their systems, and the Snowden documents revealed that the NSA had programs to break into Google and Yahoo data centers where they connected servers to servers and collected data before it was encrypted. And here's the network effect, because American technology platforms dominate globally, and people in every country use Gmail and WhatsApp and iCloud, and this centralization means the NSA doesn't need to penetrate systems in 195 countries. It just needs access to a few American companies. And the third reason is something that seems like pure mathematics, but creates the ability to break encryption that's supposed to be unbreakable. And that's the NSA's massive investment in cryptanalysis and computing power, which allows breaking codes and weakening security standards. And this capability means that communications people think are private can actually be read. And here's how the NSA approaches encryption. Because they use a combination of mathematical attacks and computing power and strategic sabotage of encryption standards. And the computing resources are enormous, with the NSA operating some of the world's most powerful supercomputers. And these machines can try billions of password combinations per second and can find weaknesses in encryption algorithms. And the Snowden documents revealed programs where the NSA worked to weaken encryption standards that are used globally. And think about what this means, because when you use HTTPS to browse securely, or when companies use VPNs to protect communications, there's a possibility that the encryption has been deliberately weakened, or that the NSA can break it through brute force computing. And the NSA has also stockpiled zero-day exploits, which are security vulnerabilities in software that haven't been publicly disclosed. And these exploits allow breaking into systems that appear secure. And compare this to other countries' intelligence agencies which have cryptanalysis capabilities, but can't match NSA computing power or mathematical expertise. And the NSA employs thousands of mathematicians and computer scientists and has been breaking codes since World War II. And this accumulated expertise is nearly impossible to replicate. And here's the strategic element. Because the NSA doesn't just break encryption reactively, they proactively work to ensure that global encryption standards have backdoors or weaknesses. And the dual ECDRBG random number generator that was promoted as a standard was later revealed to have an NSA backdoor. And similar concerns exist about other widely used security technologies. And beyond breaking encryption, there's also the metadata collection, because even when message content is encrypted, the metadata about who's communicating with whom and when and from where is often visible. And the NSA collects this metadata comprehensively, because it reveals social networks and patterns of behavior. And the Supreme Court has ruled that Americans have no reasonable expectation of privacy in metadata. And the fourth reason is what gives American intelligence agencies literally global reach. And that's the satellite reconnaissance capabilities operated by the National Reconnaissance Office, which can photograph and monitor essentially any location on Earth with resolution that can identify individual people and vehicles. And here's how satellite surveillance works, because the United States operates dozens of reconnaissance satellites in various orbits. And these satellites carry cameras with resolution measured in centimeters, meaning they can read license plates from space and can track movements of people and vehicles and can photograph military installations and infrastructure. And the revisit time, meaning how often a satellite passes over the same location, has decreased to hours for critical areas. And think about what this enables, because American intelligence can monitor what's happening anywhere on the planet without needing permission or physical presence. And during the Bin Laden raid, the CIA used satellite imagery to study the compound in Pakistan and count residents and track patterns. And this preparation was done entirely from space. And compare this to other countries which have satellite capabilities, but nothing approaching American coverage or resolution. And China and Russia operate military satellites, but have fewer of them and lower resolution. And most countries have no reconnaissance satellites at all and rely on commercial imagery, which is much less capable. And here's the scale advantage, because the United States launches more military satellites than the rest of the world combined and maintains constellations that provide constant coverage of areas of interest. And the satellites are increasingly sophisticated with capabilities beyond optical imaging, including radar that can see through clouds, and darkness and infrared that can detect heat signatures, and signals intelligence satellites that intercept communications. And beyond the satellites, there's also the aerial reconnaissance, because the CIA and Air Force operate fleets of drones that can loiter over areas for extended periods, providing real-time video surveillance. And the Reaper and Predator drones have been used extensively for surveillance in Afghanistan and Pakistan and Yemen and Somalia. And these platforms can track individuals for days or weeks. And here's the data fusion element, because satellite imagery gets combined with signals intelligence and human intelligence to create comprehensive pictures of what's happening. And artificial intelligence analyzes imagery to detect changes and identify objects and track movements, and this analysis happens automatically on scales that would be impossible with human analysts alone. And the fifth reason is something that operates through relationships rather than technology, and that's the intelligence sharing network called Five Eyes, which multiplies American capabilities by incorporating the resources and access of allied intelligence agencies. And this cooperation creates global coverage that no single country could achieve. And here's how Five Eyes works. Because the United States and United Kingdom and Canada and Australia and New Zealand have an agreement to share intelligence comprehensively, and this arrangement started during World War II and has expanded to include virtually all forms of intelligence collection. And the division of labor means each country focuses on specific geographic areas or technical capabilities. And think about what this enables, because the United Kingdom has relationships and access in former colonial areas, and Australia focuses on Southeast Asia, and the Pacific and Canada covers northern approaches, and New Zealand monitors the South Pacific. And together these countries create a network that spans the globe. And compare this to other countries which might have bilateral intelligence relationships, but nothing approaching the depth and comprehensiveness of Five Eyes, because the members share raw intelligence, not just finished analysis, and have personnel embedded in each other's agencies and coordinate operations. And here's the legal workaround that Five Eyes enables, because U.S. law restricts NSA surveillance of Americans, but doesn't restrict British intelligence from surveilling Americans and sharing that information with the NSA. And similarly, British law might restrict GCHQ from surveilling British citizens, but American intelligence can collect that information and share it. And this mutual arrangement means that legal restrictions on domestic surveillance can be circumvented through allied collection. And beyond the Five Eyes core, there are also second-tier partnerships where the United States shares some intelligence with NATO allies and other partners and receives intelligence in return, and countries like Germany and France and Japan provide intelligence on their regions and in exchange receive American intelligence. And this creates a hub-and-spoke system with America at the center. And the sixth and final reason is what makes the surveillance truly comprehensive and disturbing, and that's the development of artificial intelligence and big data. Analytics that can process the vast amounts of collected information and identify patterns and predict behavior. And this analytical capability transforms raw data into actionable intelligence at scales that were impossible before. And here's how AI-powered analysis works, because the NSA collects so much data that human analysts could never review it all. And artificial intelligence systems can automatically analyze billions of communications and flag suspicious patterns and identify networks of people and predict future actions. And these systems use machine learning to improve over time and become better at detecting whatever they're programmed to find. And think about what this enables, because the NSA can essentially search through every communication ever collected looking for specific keywords or patterns, and can build social network graphs showing who knows whom across billions of people, and can track individuals' movements over time by analyzing location data from phones, and can predict likely behaviors based on historical patterns. And compare this to traditional intelligence analysis, which was limited by human capacity to read and understand information. And modern AI systems can process in seconds what would take human analysts years. And here's the disturbing implication: because mass surveillance combined with artificial intelligence creates the possibility of total information awareness, where intelligence agencies know not just what has happened, but can predict what will happen. And the DARPA program, literally called Total Information Awareness, was officially canceled in 2003 after public backlash, but the capabilities it envisioned have largely been implemented under different names. And beyond the predictive element, there's also the retrospective search capability, because the NSA stores communications for years, and when a new person becomes interesting, the agency can search through all their historical communications and reconstruct their past. And this means that anything you've ever communicated electronically could potentially be accessed and analyzed years later. And here's the social control implication, because when people know they're under surveillance, they modify their behavior, and this chilling effect on speech and association is well documented. And the knowledge that intelligence agencies can access private communications creates pressure toward conformity and self-censorship. And when you combine all 6 of these reasons together, you see why the CIA and NSA know everything that happens in any country. Because telecommunications infrastructure penetration gives access to the physical layer where communications travel, and technology company cooperation provides access to billions of users' data stored on American servers. And cryptanalysis capabilities allow breaking encryption that people think protects their privacy, and satellite reconnaissance provides literal eyes in the sky that can see anywhere. And 5 eyes. Intelligence sharing multiplies coverage and access through allied agencies, and artificial intelligence transforms vast data collection into usable intelligence and predictions. And these 6 mechanisms work together in ways that create comprehensive surveillance, where essentially nothing is private. And the scale is so massive that terms like Orwellian seem inadequate, because even Orwell didn't imagine satellites and artificial intelligence and global fiber optic networks. And the capabilities have expanded so far beyond what was technologically possible when privacy laws were written that the legal frameworks are essentially obsolete. And here's why this is disturbing: because the system operates largely in secret and with minimal oversight. And the FISA court that's supposed to provide checks meets in secret and releases no opinions and approves almost everything. And congressional oversight is limited to small committees who are briefed in classified sessions and can't discuss what they learn. And the technology companies that cooperate with surveillance are legally prohibited from disclosing the extent of their cooperation through gag orders. And this secrecy means that democratic accountability is nearly impossible, because citizens don't know what's being done in their name and can't make informed decisions about whether the trade-offs are acceptable. And beyond the domestic implications, there are also the international implications, because American surveillance of foreign leaders and foreign citizens has no legal constraints. And the revelation that the NSA tapped German Chancellor Angela Merkel's phone created diplomatic tensions but didn't change the underlying capabilities. And every foreign leader and every foreign citizen should assume their communications are accessible to American intelligence if those communications touch American infrastructure or use American services. And here's the technology lock-in element, because even countries that want to avoid American surveillance have difficulty doing so, because the internet is built on American-designed protocols and runs largely on American-made hardware. and uses American software and encryption standards, and creating truly independent alternatives would require rebuilding the entire technology stack, and very few countries have the resources or expertise to do this. And China has tried to build sovereign internet infrastructure, but still relies on American technology at various layers. And understanding these 6 reasons shows that American intelligence dominance isn't about superior human intelligence or better analysis. It's about controlling the technological infrastructure of modern communication, and having the computing power to break security, and having the satellite capabilities to see everywhere, and having the allied relationships to extend reach, and having the analytical tools to process massive data. And this dominance creates a surveillance state that operates globally, and continuously and largely invisibly. And the implications for privacy and freedom and sovereignty are profound, because in a world where intelligence agencies can access everything, the traditional boundaries between public and private, and between domestic and foreign, and between liberty and security have essentially collapsed. And this is why the CIA and NSA know everything that happens in any country, and why that knowledge represents perhaps the most significant shift in the balance between state power and individual freedom in human history.